it was either President Bush or Clinton or Obama, one of them. Can in some way that you can write a bill to reconstruct our kids who have graduated from college and their school loans? It is ridiculous what our kids are coming out with our school loans are. We have two adults.
I want to hear her.
Okay. Reconstruct the student school loan. We have two adults now, young adults that graduated from college. The school loans are killing them.
Yep.
And it's not, even if they pay them, the way they're doing it, all their money they send in is going to interest first instead of the principal. Ooh. That's a bad way to do the kids. They cannot afford the homes that are out here now. Most of them have to move back and rent a little bit with mom and dad before they can get back there. Although their salaries are much more than what it was when I graduated, they can't make it. Can someone please, with all of this going on, look at the kids who live here who have paid their school loans? Yeah. They need help. Yeah. So can you please help them?
Something regarding the student loan, like forgiveness type programs?
No, the forgiveness doesn't go for everybody. Okay. I'm trying to say, most of us have mortgage payments. We've had some good mortgage ones, bad.
Sure.
When you see your mortgage payment, if you're paying $1,100 a month, and then out of that $1,100, $900 is going for your interest and $200 is for your principal, you're going to pay for that until the day you die. So let's don't do that to our kids.
Okay. I think my chief had me have a
so that's a huge conversation. As someone with $70,000 in debt right now, I completely get it. There are 7 bills currently going through the legislature that address multiple different things. The Assembly member actually has one in regards to teachers and expanding some of the loan stuff. But it is actually a federal issue. So the state can do as much as it can, but ultimately it needs to be reformed on the federal side.
Okay, I can understand that, but can the state do something? Because everybody's not going to school to become a teacher. Everyone is not going to be an engineer. Come on, let's be for real. I'm talking your working class people like we are. We're just your common working class people.
Yeah.
So the kids are getting out of school with $70,000, $100,000 school loans. Some of them haven't even more because they say get the education. And I'm talking about I'm talking about the kids here.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So can we do something on this level?
Absolutely.
We may have something.
Yeah, I staff education, so I've been keeping track of a lot of bills that do that because, as we said, Assemblymember Rodriguez did introduce a bill specifically for teachers, but to also get the talk started, to let them know, like, hey, the students are ending up in loans. It's ridiculous. They're not able to get into the careers that they want. There are other Assembly members who have introduced grant programs to help students pay off their loans, not just in the teaching field and not just in the STEM field, but in the arts and the businesses. So if you would like me to connect you to, those bills so you can read them through, and, if the city wants to send in support letters, if you want to contact those members to show them,
we need to do
issues.
something. Yeah.
Definitely. But there are bills that are addressing that this year and bills in the previous years to reinstate grant programs that the member has supported. It takes a while to take into effect.
So those are just basically they just on the side with all of this other rhetoric that we have going on. Basically,
some of them are taking into effect this year. Sometime during this year. And again, I can connect you to those and show you. And our offices can help help students connect to resources where they can apply for programs as well.
But most of the kids, and I'm not kidding you, they try to pay them. They get their check. Most of them are in default. They can't even get out of the default because of taxes. Come on, we can do better.
So
We agree, and we do. That's why this year that package deal of the 7 bills that are taking bites out of multiple pieces of it. So we're trying to address it. But we also have jurisdiction as a state versus as a federal government. So the federal government is the one that actually issues all the loans through God, I can't think of the Department of Education. So it's ultimately that department that needs to do some of the reform. But with advocates like you and the Assembly member, we hopefully will be able to do something in the near future.
Okay.
So did you guys hear that regarding that?
How can you put money to that when you're not charging tuition to illegal aliens?
Well, that's a whole different subject
it's the
there.
same
But
thing.
so we're
You
trying
should
to
be
see how we can
helping
help her
them
with
their
that.
loans
But that's where the
before you
help-
do that.
Yeah, yes, sir.
How's that a whole different?
I'm concerned about mental health coverage and
Another non-answer.
part of medical. I'm wondering what is
Well, you need to campaign with others so that
there's
it
adequate
doesn't
mental health coverage for people we have a huge population that's in need.
But your vote doesn't
Depression,
count by itself.
anxiety,
It's hard to say.
all
Well, that
on the
doesn't mean
rise.
you don't vote, that means you take people with you to campaign.
We need to make sure that we have adequate staffing in hospitals. You talked about hospital volunteer, outpatient clinics.
I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to do that.
What
I hope so.
I work for Kaiser, and we are really having a lot of problems in terms of getting
This is a question about mental health and dealing with mental health issues.
mental health crisis that's going on.
He's a counselor.
What is it?
Counselor.
A letter that
He's a counselor?
He helped me after my mother passed away.
Oh, great. Well, it's good.
I know.
Okay.
Well, keep it down, please. We can't hear you. I can't hear you guys.
I'll go over there.
You'll repeat it.
Disrupting over here.
So he has a question about mental health care and coverage.
Right.
Obviously, mental health is a big issue,
Okay.
especially with our homeless populations.
Yep.
Is there anything we can do to help our mental health folks out there regarding care and coverage? So one thing on that, I'm gonna kind of go back on my experience in EMS. Years ago, there used to be these PET teams, psych emergency teams. We go out on a 911 call, and this patient happens to be somebody suffering from a mental health issue. We would respond those PET teams. They would be at where we're at somebody's work, home within half an hour. They would evaluate that patient, and if they found that it was a mental health issue, instead of sending them to the emergency room, where that's not where they need to go, we would send them to a mental health facility to get the proper care and treatment for them. And if they need to be placed on 5150 holds to take care of them, the 72-hour evaluation, we would do that. I don't know why that left years ago, but I think that's a big issue we're facing now that we don't have that type of care for those folks. I was just at Pomona Valley the other day in the ER. They do have a program now to address the mental health crisis, especially in the ERs. They have like psych techs. They have a special location for them in the ER. They're starting to address those issues. Maybe we can work with more organizations like Kaiser.
Okay.
He's from Kaiser. He's talking about trying to get more mental health care and service for our mental health folks. I don't know if Kaiser is looking at doing anything like that, but that's something I'm always advocating. How we can address that better? Because you're right, there is a shortage. We need better care and service for folks suffering from mental health.
they have
more money.
man the ERs for that purpose. And I'm talking about overall coverage too. We have clinics, but we're talking about clinics that handle hundreds of people in the course of a month. 30 therapists. That's unmanageable caseloads.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
why I asked-
Yep.
So that's something. I mean, speaking of the health issue, that's something.
Overburdened hospitals is the norm now in California.
That's something we've already had 2 hearings talking about mental health coverage and treatment regarding our health plans, Medi-Cal, and all the private insurance. How we can get more services to them. But then again, the other problem is we have a shortage. How we can get more folks attracted to that field to become those technicians for mental health, because we need those, right? Just because we can have funding for it, but if we don't have folks willing to take on those positions to treat and care for our mental health folks, that we're going to be upside down, right? So how we can work everything together to make sure that we have enough staffing, we have the insurance that will cover that, and we have facilities to take these folks too, because that's another issue. We don't have enough mental or psychiatric places to take our folks suffering from mental health issues as well.
We're talking about the need for safe staffing ratios. That we believe that, unless the state is willing to pass legislation.
She's bringing up the issue of ratios in the hospitals.
We know.
Give people the services they need because it's not that people aren't being attracted to become mental health workers.
I know.
They're not funding.
She had an issue regarding like staff ratios for mental health technicians treating patients, right? That's another issue. So that's something where obviously it's being discussed right now. Ronnie, you have something to say about it?
Yeah, so the Assembly member had a roundtable yesterday with a lot of the large stakeholders within the district.
Talk up, please.
So the Assembly member had a roundtable on health issues with a lot of the large stakeholders from the district.
Okay.
Pomona Valley being one of them.
Okay.
IEHP, San Bernardino Public Health. We actually invited Kaiser and they declined to show up. Who else was there?
Community center, health centers as well.
And Western University, a medical school in Pomona.
And one of the major things that did come up with was mental health and the crisis that they're facing on the local level and how they're trying to address it. And so it was very informative, not just to hear here tonight, here today, which is really, really important, but to hear it from those stakeholders that are like, we can't deal with this. We just have too much. So
Right.
the Assembly member is going to be working on some of those issues in health, and there are some bills coming through to address it. And we're also waiting to see what the governor's ultimately going to do with this budget. But we really appreciate your input.
I want to say, we are a union, the National Union of Healthcare Workers. We've been at this with Kaiser for the past 9 years. We're in contract negotiations, and Kaiser refuses to address this crisis publicly. We've done everything we can. They're not moving at the table. We're calling for adequate staffing at the table. They refuse to address it. There even is a staffing issue. The members on the ground, the clinicians speaking today, are ready to take them on. It's not going to just change by talking in round tables. What we need is effort here. We talked to Josue. I know there's a lot of different people that want to talk to you. What we need is 5 minutes, because perhaps after this, there is a sign-on letter that Connie Leva has signed to Eloise Cervantes. It's all signed on to hold Kaiser accountable. It's directed by Mayor Elena Durazo.
He's going off on Kaiser. Let me turn off the video for now.